as far as their thinking on that particular storm?
They haven't indicated anything right now.
Okay.
I haven't seen anything. Now, as far as the report of the power lines, trees down, intersection of Highway 60 and 1598, though, in Union County. So that's where we've got trees down, also some power lines, Highway 60, 1598 in Union County. So that's all I've seen come across at this point.
Okay, so that's this part of the storm here. And, you know, we're not seeing anything on the wind velocity data that looks all that strong, but keep in mind that these could be winds way down at the low levels. The radar beam may be overshooting that. And actually, the other problem is the radar beam, these aren't moving directly towards the radar, so the radar may have a hard time sampling the actual intensity of the wind down here that is in that particular area. Now, a new alert is coming in from the Weather Service here.
Significant weather advisory now. So this is for Henderson, Western Davis, Hopkins, Webster, Eastern Union, Western McLean. So we've got a lot of different counties involved in this. Let me get you the particulars on this. Again, significant weather advisory, which is a notch below a warning, and that is out until 6:15 p.m. For those particular counties. And as far as the particulars on the storm, Storm Spotter's reporting strong thunderstorms along a line extending from 6 miles southwest of Corydon to Providence and to Cobb, moving northeast at 40 miles an hour. Hail up to penny size, which is what Jeff Blair reported west of Mount Vernon. Wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour expected with these storms. And now we've got another warning coming across the board, too, or alert.
Yeah, again, that advisory, one notch below.
Now, a tornado warning, Wayne, for western Gibson, northern Posey County until 6:15. Again, a tornado warning out for western Gibson and northern Posey until 6:15. And as far as the particulars on that warning that we have for you, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located 5 miles north of Mount Vernon. It's moving northeast at 45 miles an hour.
Okay, yeah, that's that same circulation starting to spin up again here north of Mount Vernon. You can see it right there. Let me show you exactly which cities are in this tornado warning. It does cover a good deal of central and northern Posey County, a good deal of Gibson County, so Fort Branch, Montgomery, Owensville, Princeton. You're all under this tornado warning affecting nearly 18,000 people. It goes until 6:15. And Ron just read the particulars on that. And you can see kind of the part of the storm here, and I'll slow down the radar for you. It's that part of the storm that is right over here northwest of Mount Vernon. You kind of see how it's curling around. That's the part of the storm that is showing some rotation. So we'll get back to wind velocity data here, and hopefully Jeff Blair, who's down in the Mount Vernon area, will start heading back to the north and kind of keep an eye on this storm from behind. But you can kind of see these bright shades of red here up against this white and blue. Now we're not seeing a lot of blue here. If we saw a lot of dark blue versus bright red, that would be and was very concentrated, that would be a tightly wound couplet that could actually be a tornado. Right now it's radar indicated, but this storm is just showing signatures of a potential tornado. So we have no confirmation of a tornado when this storm pushed through Gallatin and Posey counties, but we're still seeing evidence on the radar that this could be producing a tornado. So it looks like your best bet for a potential tornado now is down here to the southeast of New Harmony. Matter of fact, New Harmony, you're right on the edge of that warning. It cuts off right at Princeton, cuts off right at Fort Branch and Mount Carmel. You're technically not under the warning, but you can kind of see it comes up into East Mount Carmel there across the river. And of course, Evansville down here, so this is not, this particular storm, not a concern for us. But I'll show you the more traditional view. We'll kind of go back and forth between the wind and the rain, the reflectivity. And let's put a storm track on this line going, and we'll start at the leading edge, and we'll take this moving northeast at about roughly, is it 50 miles per hour, Ron, on this particular one?
This storm actually a little slower than that, Wayne. It's moving at 45 to the northeast.
Okay, so at 45 miles per hour, that's into Wadesville at 538, Poseyville at 542, Crawleyville at 543, Cynthiana at 547, and Owensville at 554. This is the leading edge of the storm that could potentially produce damaging wind and maybe an embedded tornado within this line. It's a broad storm track, but it's a much smaller tornado threat within that line, but we're tracking the entire part of the line that's in that warning and anywhere within that line. But more than likely, as I clear the times of arrival away, the greater threat for a tornado is in that part of the circulation right there. And I'll go in a little tighter to kind of show you what I'm talking about here in terms of a more precise look. And actually, it looks like I still got my storm track up, so let me go ahead and clear that off. And we'll come back here, and we'll really try to pinpoint for you where the circulation is occurring. And it looks like I still got a storm track there, so we'll take that away, and we'll try it one more time here with our box. There, it looks like we got it activated now. So we'll go ahead and zoom in on this right here, and you can kind of see that circulation, and that's where the most favored area for a possible tornado would be. So there's Solitude. Of course, you got Route 69 heading north to New Harmony. So right there, you can kind of see it almost hooking, a little tiny little hook there, just a big, broad circulation there at the mid-levels. And the concern is that somewhere in this notch, you could have a tornado that's trying to come down. So the best bet for a potential tornado would be here just probably at this point, right along Indiana. That would be Route 69, north of Solitude, south of New Harmony, kind of right in the heart of Posey County with that circulation right there. And that's going to continue up here across Posey County, and more than likely would go midway between New Harmony and Wadesville. So if you live in that corridor between New Harmony and Wadesville, that looks to be the prime location for this rotation to pass through in the next 15 minutes. Now down to the south, Mount Vernon, you're out of the danger. That warning was cleared for you. In Solitude, you're right on the edge of this. So really, it's areas to the north of Solitude, north of Sava there, and west-northwest of Oliver, right there along Indiana 69 to the north of Solitude. That's where we've got some rotation that may be trying to lay down a tornado there. So hopefully, Jeff Blair, who was down in Mount Vernon, is heading up Indiana 69 there, and will hopefully be able to get a fix on that storm coming in from the south. New Harmony, I think you will just miss this circulation because it is moving more to the northeast, so it looks like to me that, again, it'd be kind of midway between. I just said that. Here's a new sweep. Look at that hook really spinning up there. And actually, this is a little closer to New Harmony right now. And we got a new alert coming in from the Weather Service currently. So what you got, Ron, on that?
Okay, this is another significant weather advisory. Warwick, Gibson, Pike. This is eastern Gibson, eastern Posey, western Spencer, and Vanderburgh counties. And that is out. Well, now we got it. Wait a minute. Yeah, that is out. Let me double check.
Okay. Yeah, that's
a little bit lower.
That circulation does appear to be tightening up here. I'm going to zoom in on that as Ron gets the latest alert there for you.
Yeah, it's until 6:15. That's
okay.
Significant weather advisory.
Significant weather advisory. That's a notch below a warning. But there is what looks like a nice hook right there, southeast of New Harmony. So right now we've got the tornado threat really appears to be concentrated in areas just east of New Harmony there. Of course, as you head east of New Harmony, you're heading along Indiana Route 66. So it looks like if we've got a tornado, it more than likely is getting pretty close. It's kind of coming up Indiana 69 there. And as 69 passes just east of New Harmony, it looks like it's going to follow 69 and then kind of come up where 66 and 69 intersect right there. But there's your circulation right here. And just let me see if we're getting anything on the velocity data that really matches up with that. And it looks like we are seeing some enhanced wind right there, okay, and a little bit of shear right there. See that little blue up against the red? So yeah, there is some circulation going on in there. That's the storm relative. Let me look at the raw velocity. I haven't used that very much today and see if that's showing anything. And here's the raw velocity, and there's your rotation right there. Again, it's not too tight. You got the red way over here, the blue here, so it's more of a broad level rotation, but it is passing now just east of New Harmony. So if you're in that area near New Harmony, if you're in New Harmony, you want to be in your tornado safe area, but especially just east of New Harmony as you head along 66 there to the east. But this looks to be just where 66 and 69 come together. Up in that part of Posey County, we've got some circulation there. On the radar, it doesn't look too bad. okay? But you never want to say, don't worry about it, because the radar may be overshooting it. So just looking at the various radar products that we have here, and again, you can see that broad circulation right there, passing east of New Harmony, coming up 69, and then is probably going to follow 69 all the way up there into northwestern Posey County. And it looks like it's passing now just to the east of New Harmony. That's where the greatest tornado threat is right now. So we're going to keep an eye on the wind velocity, and real quick, just going to look at the mid-levels here, because sometimes when you go up a notch, you can kind of see it a little bit better, but actually that's a different wind direction altogether. So we're going to take that out and just go back to the standard reflectivity here, kind of show you what's going on in terms of that circulation. But there it is. You can kind of see that circulation wrapping in right here. Possible tornadoes, all radar indicated at this point. And I would think it would be a weak tornado if we got one, but it's a possibility here, passing in the vicinity of New Harmony, but especially just east of New Harmony up here in northwestern Posey County, where a tornado warning continues. Now keep in mind, the radar sweep is going to update roughly every 3 to 4 minutes. We've been on this sweep now for about 2 to 3, so we should get an update here shortly. And by that point, I think the next sweep is going to probably put it up here to the northeast of New Harmony. So I'm going to actually pull back real quick. I want to kind of show the bigger picture here again, and then we'll come back into Posey County. But we do have that severe thunderstorm warning that continues for the line approaching Henderson from the southwest. So we don't want to forget about that. Okay. Sure, let's take a look at that. Yeah,
there we go, tower camera shot. And this is looking off almost due west here in Henderson, and you can see a pretty dramatic cloud structure coming in.
Now that's the Madisonville camera.
Oh, that's Madisonville. Yeah, let's look at sources. There we go. There it is. And that's pulling in. And that is where Chris Conley is. He's in the Henderson area right now. So we've got Chris in Henderson, and we've got in the Mount Vernon area, or hopefully getting closer up to New Harmony.
Can you pull back on that, Joe? I think we're zoomed in a bit on that.
Yeah, let me...
Let's see if we can get a broader shot of this line of storms now approaching the Evansville-Henderson area from the southwest.
We're on wide angles as far back as we can go.
And we're not telephoto?
No, we're not telephoto.
Okay, so that is the widest angle. Okay, that's what we're going to keep an eye on here. Let's get back to first warning Doppler radar and track the line, and there it is, pushing across western Henderson County. So we're going to zoom back into this area. The threat, we've got a possible tornado very close to New Harmony, especially there on the east side of New Harmony. And then we've got the damaging straight line wind threat approaching the city of Henderson from the southwest. So here is kind of the way everything's breaking down here. We're going to try to bring both storms into view here. We've got that rotation right up here. Now it appears northeast of New Harmony. We got that line along the southern Vandenberg, Posey County line. There's no warning for Evansville. Most of Henderson not under a warning, although we'll see if the Weather Service decides to go with one. They've got a weather advisory out, and at the very least, we're going to get some 40 to 50 mile per hour winds coming in from the southwest. But we just showed you what this cloud looked like on our Skycam out of Henderson, and it is now pushing into Henderson. So this, it looks like the main event about to unfold for both the cities of Henderson and Evansville. No warning for Evansville right now. The tornado threat, and it looks limited, but it's still there, is up here just northeast of New Harmony. The warning just expired for Henderson County. So now we've got the line moving into Henderson, approaching Evansville with no warning on it. But this line did produce some wind damage back in the Union County area. And it looks like we do have a new warning that was just issued here. And this does include the city of Evansville. It's a severe thunderstorm warning. There's your polygon right there. So a severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for most of Vandenberg County. The exception to that is the southeastern corner of the city. That is not under a warning, and I'll show you the details on this particular warning. And again, it's a severe thunderstorm warning. It includes parts of Gibson, Pike, Posey, Vandenberg, Warwick counties, the communities of Armstrong, Evansville, Melody Hill, Oakland City. And this one, of course, with the metro being impacted, affects over 130,000 folks. And that does include the city of Evansville. And has that warning hit the wire yet? I haven't heard the bells go off yet.
We've got it on the chat. Didn't hear it on the alert, Wayne,
okay.
But it's moving northeast at 50 miles an hour. Severe thunderstorm located near Casson. Again, 60-mile-per-hour gusts, the main threat with this storm as it moves again northeast at 50 miles an hour.
Okay, so this is the main event for Evansville, now coming in from the southwest. And we're going to continue to watch this with radar. We're going to watch it with our Skycam spotters out there, but you can see the leading edge of the storm now getting pretty close to USI here. There's the Vanderburgh-Posey County line. There's the leading edge of the storm that is now into Vanderburgh County. The gust front's going to be on the leading edge, so it looks like here in the next 10 to 15, 20 minutes, this swath of wind and heavy rain, not a lot of lightning. So don't let that fool you. We're in a situation here where we're getting damaging wind with not much lightning, and that sometimes is the kind of the red flag at your barometer. If you don't hear a lot of thunder, you don't worry too much, but that's not the case today. These storms are not producing a lot of lightning. There is some there, but to the leading edge of that line pushing into Evansville, you can see that Evansville is kind of cut in half by this warning. It does not include areas on the southeast side. Basically, from the 41 Lloyd interchange northwest is where the warning is in effect. So it does include downtown. It does include up to about the airport, Melody Hill, McCutcheonville, and points west, but not the southeast side of the city. It looks like more of a concern coming into areas west of 41 in the city and the downtown area. But there is a leading edge of that line now moving in from the southwest. Now, as we go up here back into Posey County, take a look at what's going on with this tornado warning. And we got that circulation. It doesn't look like it's quite as tightly wound as it did earlier when we had that hook that was over here near New Harmony. The broad rotation now is pushing up here northeast of New Harmony, up towards the Griffin, and actually will pass more than likely just east of Griffin. It's kind of following Indiana Route 69. Let's look at the wind again with this just to see what we have showing up here in terms of velocity. And we're getting pretty close to the radar site up here in Owensville, so now we can really sample the lower levels. And it looks like we might have something right there. I'm going to have to zoom in a little bit tighter here. Actually, let me just move the map a little bit. Actually, that label's not going to change, but it looks like there might be a little bit of rotation there northeast of New Harmony, but nothing that really sticks out like a sore thumb that screams tornado on the ground. But the threat is there.
Spotter, I-64 and Highway 65 did report a rotating wall cloud. Okay. That was actually at 5:43, so it was 4 minutes ago.
Okay.
Rotating wall cloud again, and that was I-64 and Highway 65 in Gibson County.
Okay, so they're kind of watching that storm approaching from the southwest, so that doesn't surprise me. We've seen the rotation at the mid-levels. It's broad, and that's, initially the storm starts to rotate, and then as it starts to tighten up a little bit, you get the wall cloud, but that's not a tornado. Then you get the funnel, which starts to descend from the wall cloud. That's not a tornado. It makes contact with the ground. It's a tornado. So we're still up there at the lower levels of the storm showing some rotation, and that's why they're continuing with this warning. But it looks like this is now approaching areas up there and they just updated the warning there. They kind of took out New Harmony, no longer under the warning, but Poseyville, you're still under the warning, as is all of those Gibson County locations that we had in earlier. Let me pull the map down a little bit more there, but Owensville, Hobstadt, oh, actually, Hobstadt, you're not under the warning. Fort Branch, you're on the edge of it, as is Princeton up on the edge of it here. But new sweep just coming in. There's the radar in the Owensville area, and the rotation is down here, kind of right along. That would be Indiana Route 68, kind of right between New Harmony and Poseyville. We've got some circulation right there. So that's going to come out of Posey County. It's got a wall cloud on it, and it's going to go up here into southwestern Gibson County, but no confirmation. Of course, we've had tornado warnings out now for over a half hour, and so far, it's just been a wall cloud. We have not had any confirmation of any tornado touching down, though there has been some wind damage over in Union County. Now, as we take a look at the wind here in Evansville, there's the gust front. Where the red meets the blue, that's the leading edge of the wind. Don't see anything that looks unusually strong here, but certainly could be some pockets of damaging wind, and that gust front now pushing into the west side. So imagine this happening a week ago while the Fall Festival was going on. So thank goodness this is a week later. And we've got that strong, potentially damaging wind pushing into the west side of Evansville. And we'll be sweeping across the city here from west to east. Now, as we go farther to the south, Henderson, you're not under the warning. This is just for Vanderburgh and far eastern Posey counties, but you're not under the warning there. That's the wind. Let me go. Okay.
Report 60-mile-per-hour winds. You were talking about that. That was on Red Bank Road. Now, even though there's not a warning out, there is a local storm report 1 mile north of Dawson Springs. Fire and Department Rescue reported a funnel cloud moving east-northeast, and it was just north of Dawson Springs.